Shadur Sanders is stealing Cleveland's heart, the QB battle that's got the dog pound buzzing. Let's set the stage, folks. Shadur Sanders, the fifth-round gem out of Colorado, is lighting up training camp like he's been in the NFL for a decade. The kid played in a wide-open, spread offense in college. Think air raid on steroids, and that skill set is translating perfectly to the pro game. His arm might not have that Josh Allen cannon, but it's got more than enough juice to get the job done. Now, I know some folks out there are whispering that Dylan Gabriel, the higher-drafted QB, is the better bet. But let's keep it 100. That narrative's flimsier than a dollar store jersey. Anyone seriously thinking Gabriel's outshining Shadur Sanders right now hasn't been watching the tape. And if the Browns front office is the only crew buying that story, we gotta ask what's going on in those Birria War rooms. This quarterback competition is straight up electric. Shedur's surging ahead like he's running a 4.440-yard dash, while Gabriel's stumbling under the spotlight. Gabriel came in with all the hype, big frame, raw athleticism, the kind of guy who looks like he was built in a lab. But training camp's been a reality check and not the good kind. His arm strength? Questionable. His mechanics? Shaky at best. Meanwhile, Shedur's out here playing like he's got ice in his veins, delivering pinpoint passes and commanding the huddle like a vet. All signs are pointing to Sanders being the guy to lead Cleveland into the future. So, let's unpack this QB battle, dive into the juicy details, and talk about what it means for the Browns' trajectory. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. Dylan Gabriel, big hype, big problems. Coming out of the draft, Gabriel was the golden boy. Picked 2 rounds ahead of Sanders, he had the edge with his chiseled physique and raw power. The Browns brass saw him as the front runner, and you could feel the excitement in Birria. But here's where it gets messy. At 5'11", Gabriel's height is a problem in a league where quarterbacks need to see over towering linemen and throw lasers through tight windows. During OTAs and minicamp, he's been struggling to launch deep balls with the kind of zip and fluidity you need to survive in the NFL. When the pressure's on, defenders in his face, blitz is coming from every angle. He's looking rattled, like a deer in headlights. One moment from camp tells the story. Picture this: Gabriel's in the pocket, defensive linemen swatting at his passes like they're playing volleyball. He starts tweaking his release point, trying to lob the ball higher to avoid deflections. Bad move. What happens? Overthrows tip balls, and, yep, a brutal pick six that had coaches wincing and analysts scribbling notes. Those short guy struggles are real, folks. We've seen it before with undersized QBs like Johnny Manziel. Tip passes turn into turnovers, and turnovers lose games. Gabriel's got accuracy and a quick release, no question. He's a high-character guy, plays with heart, and you can tell he's got that competitor's edge. But the tape doesn't lie. There's no elite spark there. His arm limitations and struggles under duress are raising red flags, and in the NFL's meat grinder, those flaws can be fatal. Let's talk about another lowlight. During a recent OT session, Gabriel had multiple passes batted down at the line, including one that led to a defensive touchdown. That's the kind of mistake that'll make a coach rip up the depth chart. His compact frame was already a concern coming out of the draft, and now it's showing up in real time. Analysts are starting to wonder if his weaknesses, arm strength, height, handling pressure, are just too big to overcome at this level. Can a guy with those kinds of limitations lead a franchise? I'm not saying he's done, but the hill he's got to climb is looking like Mount Everest. Shadur Sanders, the dog pound's new hope. Now, let's flip the script and talk about the guy who's got Cleveland buzzing. Shadur Sanders. This kid's been lighting up Birria like it's a Friday night tailgate. His passes? Straight up lasers. He's got those long arms, that smooth, natural throwing motion, and he's dropping dimes on deep balls like it's nothing. One play from minicamp had everyone losing their minds: a corner route to the tight end at the back pylon, with a linebacker breathing down the receiver's neck and a press corner playing tight. Shedeur reads the safety biting on the underneath route, spots the mismatch, and fires a perfect strike into a window the size of a coffee mug. No hesitation, no panic, just pure surgical precision. That's the kind of vision and poise that screams franchise quarterback. But it's not just about the highlight reel. Shedur's got that factor. That thing you can't teach. He's calm under pressure, cool as a cucumber in the huddle, and he's making decisions like he's been calling plays in the NFL for years. And get this, he's a 5th-round pick. Not some first-round media darling, not a top 100 guy, but you'd never know it watching him carve up drills. One play that sent shockwaves through camp: a 60-yard touchdown bomb to rookie receiver Gage Larvadain in OTAs. That ball was a missile, perfectly placed, and it had fans on X blowing up, saying Shedur's already leapfrogged Kenny Pickett in the QB race. That's right, Vegas odds have Joe Flacco at 60% to start week 1, but Shedur's climbing fast at 25% for a 5th-rounder. That's insane. What makes Sanders special isn't just his arm, it's his mentality. He's showing up every day with a smile, locked in, hungry, and ready to work. That energy is contagious, like a spark in a dry forest. You can see it in the way his teammates rally around him. David Njoku, the Browns stud tight end, is already building chemistry with him. There's this one clip from minicamp that's pure Goldie Shedeur and Njoku laughing on the sideline, chopping it up like old buddies. No ego, no forced vibes, just real connection. Then drills start, and it's like they've been playing together for 5 years. Shedeur zips a tight spiral across the middle, Njoku snags it with those strong hands, and it's poetry in motion. That's not just execution, that's trust. When you've got a playmaker like Njoku and a QB with Sanders' accuracy and ice, cold composure, you're not just playing football, you're building something game-changing. The locker room loves him. Garrett, Ward, and Njoku are all in. Here's where it gets real, folks. The locker room is buying into Shadur Sanders, and when the vets start talking, you better listen. Let's start with Myles Garrett, the heart and soul of this defense. This dude's a franchise cornerstone, a guy who doesn't waste words or hand out compliments unless they're earned. So when Garrett says Shedur's fitting in seamlessly, praising his poise, confidence, and presence, that's not just locker room chatter. That's respect. He even said, people just love being around him. Think about that. A locker room full of alpha personalities, veterans fighting for roster spots, and they're drawn to a rookie QB. That's rare. That's leadership. That's the kind of intangibles that turn a good player into a great one. Then there's Denzel Ward, one of the league's elite corners. When asked about Shedeur, he kept it short and sweet. He looks different. 3 words, but coming from a Pro Bowler who faces the NFL's best QBs every week, that's louder than a foghorn. Ward's not just talking about mechanics or footwork. He's talking about that spark, that presence that separates the good ones from the greats. And don't sleep on Njoku. He's been vocal too, saying Shedeur shows up every day positive, locked in, and ready to grind. That's who you want in your huddle. That's who you want going to war with in the AFC North. Even Joe Flacco, the Super Bowl MVP himself, is taking notice. In a recent interview, Flacco was all smiles talking about Sanders. He's just a lot of fun to be around, he said. There's been a few moments where he's made me laugh. He's a young guy trying to learn the game, and he's going about it the right way. When a vet like Flacco's giving props like that, you know something special's brewing. The front office drama, a draft day conspiracy. Now, let's get to the spicy stuff, the kind of thing that keeps Browns fans up at night. There's a rumor floating around Berea, and it's juicy. Word is, the Browns front office might have drafted Dylan Gabriel, not because they were sold on him, but to keep ownership from forcing their hand on Shadur Sanders. Team owner Jimmy Haslam was reportedly all in on Sanders, pounding the table to bring him to Cleveland. But the coaching staff, not so sure. So they grabbed Gabriel 2 rounds earlier, maybe as a buffer to cool the owner's jets. If that's true, it's a wild move, and it's backfiring big time. Shedur's out here making the front office look silly, forcing his way into the QB1 conversation with every laser he throws. He's not making noise with hype or press conferences. He's letting his play do the talking, and it's deafening. Mary Kay Cabot, the queen of Cleveland sports journalism, is seeing it too. This woman's been covering the Browns longer than most of us have been tailgating, and she doesn't throw around praise for clicks. She's saying Shedur's earning trust, not just from the dog pound, but from the vets and coaches who matter most. She's watched him everywhere, Super Bowl events, NFL honors, Colorado's Pro Day, and the kid's always the same respectful, focused, calm in the chaos. That's not just talent, that's maturity. That's franchise QB material. As Mary Kay put it, this isn't just off-season hype anymore, it's belief. And in a city like Cleveland, belief is the spark that can set a dynasty in motion. The bigger picture, a franchise at a crossroads, this QB battle isn't just about who starts week 1, it's about the soul of the Cleveland Browns. Shadur Sanders brings something this fanbase has been craving for years: hope, energy, identity. From grizzled dog pound vets who've seen it all to kids rocking his jersey at First Energy Stadium, Cleveland's rallying behind him. His charisma, his dynamism, his fearless play style. It's like he was made for this city. And in a town where the quarterback's spotlight burns hotter than a steel mill, Sanders is handling it like a pro. He's polished on the mic, articulate without being cocky, and he knows how to navigate the media pressure that's crushed lesser QBs in this town. But let's not sugarcoat it. The road to QB1 ain't a cakewalk. Sanders hasn't gotten first team reps in 11 on 11 drills yet, with Flacco and Kenny Pickett eating up most of the snaps. Gabriel's still getting priority as a third-rounder too. But every chance Shedeur gets, he's making jaws drop. That 60-yard TD strike to Gage Larvadain in Otays, that wasn't just a play. It was a statement. Social media is going nuts with fans and insiders saying Sanders has already passed Pickett in the race. And here's a stat to blow your mind: if Shedeur starts week 1 against the Bengals, he'll join an elite club of QBs drafted in the 5th round or later who've started opening day. The last guy to do it, Dak Prescott in 2016. The guy before that, Randy Hedberg in 1977. That's mythical company insider buzz. Shedeur's winning the locker room and beyond. Here's where it gets even crazier. A former NFL standout turned analyst with deep ties to the Browns locker room dropped a bombshell recently. He's been talking to players, not secondhand whispers, but straight from the source intel. And the word out of Barry, Shadur Sanders is the best quarterback in the room. Yes, you heard that right. Better than Joe Flacco, a Super Bowl MVP, and better than Kenny Pickett, the former first-rounder. One player reportedly said Sanders walks into the huddle and instantly commands respect like a vet who's been there before. That's not just talent, that's presence. That's the kind of intangibles that turn a rookie into a leader. The buzz isn't just inside the locker room. Mary Kay Cabot's reporting that Sanders is winning over the coaching staff too. She's seen him in action beyond the practice field, at league events, at pro days, in the community, and he's always the same guy, cool, collected, and ready for the moment. That's huge in Cleveland, where the QB job comes with more pressure than a fourth and goal in the playoffs. And let's not forget the fans. The dog pound is all in, from the old-timers who remember the cardiac kids to the new generation hyped up on X. Sanders' stock is skyrocketing, and it's no secret why he's got the arm, the brains, and the heart to be Cleveland's guy. What's next for the Browns? So here's the million-dollar question, Browns fans. Who's your QB1? Dylan Gabriel came in with the hype, but his struggles are piling up. Weak arm, tip passes, and a knack for wilting under pressure. Shadur Sanders, he's checking every box. His arm talent's undeniable, his decision-making's on point, and his leadership's got the locker room buzzing. Even with limited reps, he's outshining the competition, and the gap's only getting wider. Vegas has Flacco as the favorite to start Week 1, but Sanders is creeping up fast. If he keeps this up, he could shock the league by taking the field against Cincy in September. This is more than a quarterback battle. It's a turning point for the franchise. Shadur Sanders isn't just playing for a roster spot. He's playing for the heart of Cleveland. He's bringing the kind of energy and identity the city's been starving for since the days of Bernie Kosar. So, let's hear it, Dog Pound. Should Shadur Sanders be the Browns QB1? Is Gabriel just hitting a rough patch? Or is Sanders the future franchise leader we've been waiting for? Drop your take in the comments, smash that subscribe button, and let's keep this community growing. The Browns are on the cusp of something big, and Shadur Sanders might just be the guy to take us to the promised land. Let's go, Cleveland!